prelude to his album Nico, that is Ambassador Mandela. And we're talking about music and governance. Thank you so much,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mandela, for joining us.
Thank
But
you.
before we get into the conversation, I want to read you a quote by Confucius. It says, if one should desire to know whether a kingdom is well governed, if its morals are good or bad, the quality of music will furnish the answer. And I hope Ambassador Mandela's music today gives us the answer to the Kenyan governance today. So let's get into it. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having us. Thank you.
It's been a minute since I heard such sweet melodies to my ears. But let's kick off this interview, and I'm going to start with our singer, songwriter, humanitarian, environmentalist. I read your bio, and honestly, I cannot read everything, so I will just allow you to tell us who Ambassador Mandela is.
Well, you just started. I like what you said. You said almost the things I was going to say. Well, I am what you just said. I'm a musician, an artist. I'm also a businessman. I'm very happy actually to be here.
I'm also very happy to have you.
Excuse me about that.
No problem.
I'm a businessman and a former activist. I've also been a former band member of Sarabi.
I want to hear about you being a former activist. If you're a former activist, what do you do now?
Yeah, that's awesome. So what do I do now? I'm an agent of change right now, and an agent of love. Also working with environmental things like planting trees and climate change and good music for governance.
Good music. I hear that. It's good music. Let's pass on to the gentleman to your right.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I go by the name Shafi Abdi. I am a freelance photographer and a filmmaker as well. So basically, I'm just surrounded by storytellers like Mandela. Yeah. So there's many things I can put on my head, but I
Let's
need to.
yes. Let's pass it on.
Oh yeah, I'm Dovis Ebi, surname Ogejo. I'm a project development manager. I'm also a businessman. I run businesses. I'm also the president of USAID, that is Youth, Corporate and Economic Development.
Amazing. So we had conversations during the week when we were planning this interview, and a lot of the inspiration for me to do this is because of the Constitution of Kenya and preserving human dignity. But before we get to that, I still want to focus on Ambassador Mandela, the artist. What is your genre of music? Where did Mandela come from? Where does he originate from? And how did your background influence the kind of music that you do today?
What's the one question you asked? That's like three questions.
Genre. Genre. Let's start with the genre.
Take it slowly.
of music.
One bush.
Yeah, so yeah, thank you.
Yes.
My genre is versatile. And this is also because of what I stand for. Maramaso, Man Raised Man Society, as the backbone of what my music speaks about. It brings about, it depends who I'm working with and the project I'm working with. Therefore, I cannot be on one kind of a genre style. So if we're working with someone on a particular agenda or a song on a particular theme, I will have to flow with it accordingly, or if a client wants something to be done in a way that is aligned to their goals, then Ambassador Mandela, as a storyteller, he has to flow with that genre.
Amazing. So let's go back to your background and how this influenced this type of music.
Yes.
Yeah.
My background, basically where I was raised also and what I went through, that's what really has inspired my music. I was raised in the humble kingdoms of Nairobi. When I say that, I mean the underprivileged communities like Mathare or Kibera. I was raised in Kibera. I was actually born in Kibera, like Saba. It's where I know was my home. Then I went to Mathare. So you see, these are the kind of places that actually really inspire my music. The kind of lifestyle I see around me, the way people are, and what people say. It's always about the people around me. My environment really has influenced my music. Yes.
Let me give it to Shafi a little, because I know
Mm.
you do a lot of work in Mathare and
Yeah.
its environment. So tell me how you see this environment shaping the culture and attitudes towards even politics and the culture of that area. What are the people saying in Mathare?
So musically, wait, you have to take that question.
Musically and also in your photography, what is the culture that you see in those kinds of environments?
So, like what Just Mandela has said about humble kingdoms, it's just another word to say, I don't want to say disadvantaged communities, because really that is what it is. It's been there for a while, but we don't see this, the negative or the disadvantaged aspect of it. We see how can we come out of it, like making lemonade out of lemon.
Yeah.
And so looking at this kind of communities and how people have grown up in a harsh environment, and this I don't want to say the government does not really look at these slum dwellers and whatnot, but there's little that is focused on them. And they grow with all this disadvantage. There's no clean water, or if there's clean water for some time. So it influences the politics. It influences what we listen to. You see, like the likes of Tupac Shakur, living in the hard ghetto.
Yeah.
You always think about trying to be liberated from this hardship that you go through, the racism and whatnot. And it will be the same thing with the likes of Mandela. With the vibe or with whatever he sings or whatever he puts in his music, is basically him, just another resident of the slums, trying to express himself vocally through his music, through his instruments. And the same thing that wananchi wa kwenye ground,
On your ground.
they also have the same kind of feeling, but some of them don't have these amazing talents to be able to make a statement out there.
Yeah.
Some of them have other ways, poetically or however way they can try and put it out there. But I know, for one, this kind of music, also the kind of music that go within generations, like right now the generation that we're listening to with the Generation Z,
Yeah.
kwa ground vitu ni different. As much as watu wana happy, but ukeja within the humble society and where your parents are and whatnot, even having a conversation would be like, it's good music, but I mean, we can't play it. We can listen to these other kinds of music with the family and whatnot. So although it is that kind of mentality that we give to ourselves, but it's different kinds of different kinds of genres, with different kinds of generations. But you see, like his kind of music is something that is welcomed within different generations and age, and also within a different kind of timeline.
So it's timeless music.
Yes.
That's what you say?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go to Dovis as a project, or talent. I would like to call it talent. You identify talent or project developer, right?
Yeah, project development manager.
Project development. So do you go out to find also talents in such kinds of environments? And what is the process like for you, if that's what you do?
Basically, what happens is I look at development in many aspects, starting from the communities. The thing is, like Maramaso is stated, man raised man society. You are your brother's keeper, yeah? So what happens is, if you have expertise, yeah, and you can bridge one person to the other side of the, of the fruitful path, then injecting that expertise in this person and having service for service, which in the law they call quid pro quo. Yeah. So if you have that with creatives, it will go a long way. Yeah. And the thing is, right now corporates are really struggling in between influencers and creative marketing.
Yeah.
They don't know whether to go with influencers or rather to be with the creator as influencers. Yeah. So bringing expertise into it, it's all about having a structure. Yeah. Like the topic today is the governor. Yeah. The music
and governance.
And governance.
Yes.
So what happens is, to understand governance, you must also understand accountability structure, which is insight, foresight, and the other things that brings the governance. Yeah. So what happens in the community is there is a lot of talent and there is a lot of opportunities, but we lack support from the government. Yeah, the stakeholders are holding back to support the youth. So it comes back to us, yeah, as the individuals who see potential and would rather see it grow to a fruitful path rather than diminishing, you know. Yes, so it's not about looking for the or spotting the talent, but rather supporting.
Supporting.
Yes.
Ah, interesting. I'm coming back to you, Mandela, and I must say I've interacted with Ambassador Mandela's music at a very young age. I have a few favorites called Salimie, Sheria, and Kolundeng.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, so I've interacted with your music a lot, and I followed your journey throughout MAISA, Madarit Sports Association, where we all actually danced together.
Right.
And right now I'm looking at Sarabi. Let's talk about Sarabi, because it's a hot potato today. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Sarabi. Why did you leave Sarabi?
Well, first when I hear Sarabi, it always reminds me of where I come from. You know, it's one of the best things that actually happened in my music career growth. And so I took that as a growing process, as an incubation. And as you know, in every family, we outgrow our houses. And we one day have to step out of our mother's houses,
your mother's
or our
nest.
father's nest, and just develop yourself. So I grew actually because of Sarabi. That's why I'm here.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And each individual, I believe, from Sarabi is actually great because we all were in that mothership. And we all are doing so well. And that's why I'm so happy
That's
actually
amazing.
every time, I think about Sarabi. But I had to grow. And to grow to be how I am today. And what I say to grow is I am now able, not even able, I now have an umbrella that I work under, known as Maramaso. And that way, I have come into the corporate world. So now I'm a corporate, which I could not be when I was with Sarabi. But also I couldn't see if I wasn't with Sarabi until I grew, right?
So it was a stepping stone for you.
More than that, but if you put it, and it's not a stone, it's more like a rock. A rock is more solid.
Yes, so it's a rock.
Yeah, so, yeah.
What are some of the collaborations you did under Sarabi, and also let's talk about also future collaborations under Maramaso and Ambassador Mandela?
With Sarabi, we had a lot of fun. During that time, it was a very experimental experiences that were really brought a lot of learning in our world, especially being kids who are not exposed to the world out there. You know how we grew up in Madare. Going out there, coming back was always a motivation to even the youths who were in the ghetto, to see you come back. It gave them that vibe of, yes, anyone can do it. If they can do it, we can do it. And this way, we also had doors open. That we did collaborations with other artists out there, did tours around the world, and festivals. And we collaborated with a lot of people on projects, like one of them, with the social, political social music here in the country. So yeah, with Sarabi, Kilamanki Kuku, it was always fun with the projects. And in the future, I'm really open to do collaborations with any artist who is aligned with the vision and the mission of what humanity, of man raise man society.
Maramaso.
Very well.
Amazing. So what projects are you currently working on right now?
Right now, I have a few projects that I have started working on with other people. I'm working on a mitigation, planting trees.
Let's talk music essentially. I know you did some collaborations with Giuliani, Teardrop sometime.
Is that
Are they still coming back in the Nico album?
Oh, is that what you want to
Yes,
know?
that's what I want to know.
Like music?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's not about my past really like that. I'm open actually musically to do that. Right now, the project that I'm really aligned with right now, I'm getting into my business side of music.
Okay.
Learning my business side of music, the corporate world, and just taking that Ambassa Mandela, not just being a musician, but how can I be better than that? So collaboration with other artists will be there musically, of course, but it's gonna be not just music for fun, right? Because now we got to do some corporate work and make business out of it.
There's a story we aired, and we're talking about how the sound of Kenya has changed, and we're having more artists. It's not that it's a bad thing, but we're losing the sound of Kenya in the protest music and activism music, social justice music, and we are seeing the decline. Now let's get into it. We're seeing the decline of culture, governance. I remember we're kids of, I'm Gen Z, but anyway, I'm Gen Z, ule wa 98.
Old soul.
Old soul. And I remember we used to wake up to this song, Hata wewe karani, amka kumekucha. It's every morning. And right now, what are kids listening to? What is the music of Kenya right now? Let's go, Shafi.
We don't nakaa Gen Z kwanza sana because of my dreadlocks. Nakaa niko na hype sana.
Yes.
But I think the music that right now, the youths right now that are listening to, I won't say it is much, not all the youths or all the Gen Zs are listening to that, but saizi ni gengeton. Everything ni gengeton, east, west of Kenya ni gengeton. But there are those people who really know what good music is. And utampata kwa Spotify akiweka playlist yake hatari. Kama ni good vibe, chill music, nini. And these people, they will not, because, it's about just what you feed yourself.
Yeah.
So right now, it's all about, the big bam bams and whatnot. I want to put a lot on,
Yes.
I want to censor a lot of
Yes.
things. But, I mean, it's all over.
Yeah.
You unapanda matatu, you go into a matatu, the first music you listen, even if it's in the morning, where you just want something to chill you down and just to make you relax and to give you a good mood. Umeingia, unapigwa na all that. But now you see, also, I don't know what to say, it's more of the influence of what media is out there, but also is who are the promoters, who are promoting this kind of music. Why are we losing the people like Mandela with all that vibe and energy? You go into the show of one show of Mandela performing with his band, you will not walk out the same person. You get, you will not walk out the same person the same way with this with Akina Heart, the band.
Yeah.
Because there's just some maturity in their music. There's some level of maturity in the growth of music. Now also, inakuja pia na growth ya the experience that he has in his life. Mandela has gone through 100 shows, I don't know where in Europe. He's made a lot of tours.
How about Kenya?
How about Kenya?
Yeah.
Also in Kenya, amepiga mashow mingi. But you see, in Kenya, there will be specific events that you will go to that will be welcomed, because there's also this kind of crowd that that sees Mandela as this. There's a time we used to call him the prophet. Prophet Mandela, bless us. It's so nice. The memories are just amazing. There was a time Alliance Française, I think really Alliance played a great role in trying to just put you together and still have to feed these people who loved your music. So kulikuwa Kings of the Arena. It was called Kings of the Arena, and they used to put shows every end of month or start of the month. So it was amazing. So really right now what people are listening to would not be this vibe, but this vibe is out there. They just need to really know where to,
Yeah, I'd also add on that to say that there is lack of appreciation and authenticity in music right now, because how we are being appreciated out there, it is not how we would want to be appreciated. Yeah, things are changing really fast. People are now going to DIY in music. The AI is here, and it's here to stay or even to evolve. And it's either you adapt to it or you fall short. And you'll find now there's no work input in music anymore. People don't practice. People don't go for rehearsals. When you go to rehearsals rooms, they're empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are not booking because they can do that on a keyboard with a few laptop and make a voice
And
out of it.
softwares.
And softwares.
Software will generate
Yeah.
the beat for you,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
it can auto-tune your voice.
Exactly. And you know why this is happening real fast, even in our culture? We're derailing our culture. It's because of governance.
Yeah.
We don't have a stable governance that gives us a detailed workflow of how you can reap from your labor. So everyone is fishing out from TikTok, from wherever, just do a short clip and that will hit and
Try
you'll
my
become,
like.
So you'll find music schools are empty, No one wants to study, no one wants to grasp. Just like my colleague here said, my friend here said, I had the band, Mandela, Sauti Sol. There are some people, if you talk to, about music,
Yeah.
you'll understand there's a criteria they're using.
Yeah.
Versus what we're having in the streets. People are coming out today with one hit and they expect that's it.
One hit wonder.
Exactly. So we can never have a steady culture movement, and we cannot inherit the culture because we don't have the governance that gives us a complementary service to business or to creative development. Yeah.
I'm also thinking it's interesting how 60 from independence, we had this independence songs, and also after independence, we also had people coming up and talking about the extrajudicial killings. We still have them right now. Corruption is at an all-time high, but musicians are silent. So is it government incentive, or is it everyone now trying to make a buck for themselves? Because, hey, times are hard. We need to either get in the system or die.
Yeah.
Is that, do you think as societies change, also needs change, and also we think our music is influenced in that similar manner?
I think it's the inefficiency of unions because we don't have music union, in that we don't have musical union where you can say there's a group of people leading a certain movement and they're here to stay and they're here to be part of policy making, legislations. So there's no unity in music. Yeah, you'll find there's a lot that is going on at the back end.
Yeah.
And musicians will be doing their thing. Yeah, musicians will be doing their thing, but you won't know what's behind them.
Yeah.
They're carrying a lot of weight.
Yes.
Someone just lost a friend. Someone, there's a brutality from police and etc. But this person cannot talk about it because he doesn't have a backup. So when you have a board that is included of people of 80, 70, 50 years, and you have this generation that is coming in with a lot of intellect, there's no cognitive, let me call it, there's no brilliant way of having a board structured with inclusivity amongst the youth. So there is no platform where you can exercise your rights, meaning that policy is no longer on the table.
Right. So, unless Shafi, you want to contribute to it as well, but I would like us to talk about how also politicians are using music. The other day, during the protests, the Azimio leader was using Juliani's Nekonjar, Nastasi Wezi Karanga. And this kind of music inspires some sort of solidarity. And of course, when you're using music to champion certain movements, then of course, music becomes a tool of change. It becomes a tool of revolution. Where are we right now, especially talking to Mandela right now with his music? What is your take on how music affects governance?
What really hit me there when, for example, when the artists, they want to cook the music now, and they go to approach the leaders or the people who are actually involved in this and ask them, we need help with this. They don't come to support it then. That's where the change should have started.
Yeah.
But then after this song, Juliana struggled with it, and they did not even pay for it. Now, later, for their own agenda, they come for it. There's no change. Change will never come like that. Positive change comes when the leaders, so-called, which we don't have anymore, They are the ones who should come and approach the society of the artists and say, guys, can we work together
Yeah.
to make our country better? Because
Yes.
we, the artists in general, painters, musicians, public speakers, we are, and content creators, we are the ones who are the storytellers and the library of a nation. We are the
Absolutely.
history holders. Now, how can a history be history when it is always history? And in the beginning, it has never been taken serious, right?
Yes.
So unless, Dovis, you know what I'm talking about, Shafi, you know, like Ngoma, that song of Giuliani, even Sharia. You don't hear Sharia in the radio anymore,
No.
but people have it in their heart.
Yes. Absolutely.
Now, we cannot let people say, oh, there is no change that is going to happen in the music, but change will come only when the people who are up there, who so think they are up there, who are actually not up anywhere, have to work with the real people who are up there, and that is the narrators, sorry to say, narrators,
Yeah.
the songwriters, the storytellers, the painters,
The photographers.
the photographers.
Yes.
These are the people who actually, and also people like Dovis who actually know the structure of how it works for a country. A country's economy is actually driven by artists, if you come to see.
Absolutely.
And that's where the change comes. So if we can actually work together, like Mara Maso, Man Raise Man Society, where the tall ones can support the short ones.
Well, that's so.
It's a difference. Maramaso is about difference in attitude. Sorry to say. I'm not saying anything,
Yeah.
but you know what this means. Attitude. This one is taller than this.
Yes.
This one is shorter.
Yeah.
This is divide. And when you're divided, anyone can come between you. But when you're one, there is peace.
Okay.
You stand together. So that's how I'm thinking. The people in power versus the people who are powerful. There's no blame game.
Yeah.
That's how it should be working.
Yeah.
And that's how Maramaso is working.
And now, Nelson Mandela said something really important. Politics can be strengthened by music, but music has a potency that defies politics. So in as much as we have all the hurdles, I don't know, I do not know music business like Dovis does, but the more I think more musicians can continue creating, the more we can continue to defy the odds. I don't know what's your take on that, Dovis.
Yeah, I think if we have an umbrella that guides the musicians who are coming behind us, you know, not that, just to bring something here, I'm not really deep into the music, but I'm learning deeper into the music business.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens is I'm trying to see how can you have music business run as a corporate, meaning that you need a structure.
Yeah.
Yeah. In order to be productive, in order to have accountability, you need to have a structure.
Yes.
So if everyone can be following a structure, then everything will be falling into place. Yeah. But now the thing is, everything is getting distorted because people don't have structures out here. Everyone is doing whatever they do. You get a deal, a shoddy deal. You don't even have a lawyer or even an advocate to go through it and help your legal system to help you go through it and identify that this is right and this is wrong. For instance, let me give you one. Do you know we have, let me give you an example of Talanta Hela.
Yes.
Talanta Hela is a very, very, very good initiative. And if it is well implemented, trust me, we would have an explosive change in the culture and in music and in everything that creatives do. But the problem is one, proof of concept. You know, we don't have proof of concept. Yeah? Another thing we don't have complementary services for creatives and business development. Meaning that this person who's a creative, Mandela today would want to start a career in music business. And then in the midst of it, the government comes in and says, we want to support creatives and we want to start with you, Mandela. But instead of telling Mandela, this is the way of making money. This is how you do it. They come and tell Mandela, we offer you this money, come and be the portfolio.
Be the face.
Be the face
Poster
of this.
boy.
Yeah, and that's what happens right now.
Poster boy.
Yeah, you just be there and let everything move.
Yeah.
But you're forgetting one thing. There's something called IP asset. Yeah, the IP asset class, that is
Intellectual property.
intellectual property. No one gives you an education about that. Yeah, there's patent into it.
Yeah.
No one gives you the importance of it. Let me give you an example of it. Do you know Apple bought Motorola for $13 billion and sold the operating system for $3 million? Meaning that $10 billion was what? Was patent asset.
Wow.
You see how that big is?
Yeah.
$10 billion. So if that person never had anything or any education about the
Patenting your right, your knee.
yes, of the asset, or becoming an asset class of IP, having an IP portfolio, you cannot move anywhere. You cannot make those profits these people are making. That's why Apple made that kind of profit, because of having the knowledge and the right people and the system. You know? So what happens with us is we don't have a valuation table. We don't have a valuation tool, yeah, to enable us have like a machine that finances IP portfolios. So at the end of it, if you're an artist and you don't know these things, you'll be wondering you have 10 million streams in Spotify, but you can never account for it.
So you're famous without money. You're broke, famous but broke.
Exactly.
Poor millionaire.
That's why there's someone who came in and said, knowledge is
It's power.
power.
Yes.
so
Knowledge
if
is
the
a
government
power.
doesn't give you that, then what power do you have?
So how can also artists and creatives take the mantle upon themselves? Because when we are leaving everything to the government and we understand the current governance of this country and over time what we've seen, how then can we take that power as creatives and empower ourselves? Because the information is there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Do you know there are artists in Kenya who've never like gotten a grant from government ever? And they are doing well and they are denied shows. They don't get corporates, corporate deals, but they are surviving and they're living good. I can't give you the names, but there are many. What happens is they form a union within themselves, a collaborative union. There's something that we are making, or it's still on the cooking. It's a creative management solution.
Yeah.
It has a legal system, it has tax, it has law, it has, I already repeated that. It has fintech, all in one. Marketing that can help an artist to consolidate finances, know how to channel, know where your money is coming from, know every bit of coin that is coming to you.
Yeah.
And that just comes within a network of union that people create within themselves. There's a group that we are in elementary, it's called Njoki Karoya. It's a creative connect group.
Yeah.
People have lots of ideas. People have lots of stuff coming in. Only thing they needed is a platform to air it out. So what happens is we decide if the government is not going to come in, if the county government is not going to, is not going to come and bring the opportunity to the table, and instead of giving you a loan to give you grant, then you grant yourself the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Still hung up on the current music industry, and I'm thinking patriotism, morality, even if we still have that, family values and activism, and our current music space. I think as we are finalizing, because I want to go back to Mandela and hear what's next for him. So I'll give this to Shafi. Mandela, if you can take it up as well. What do you think? Do we still have morality, and does our music address morality and family values anymore? Or even love for our moms and love for our, family, and you want to see your children? Do we still have that kind of music today?
This question is a cry. Your question is actually a cry. I feel it.
Yeah.
It's a cry. Of course, it's also an answer.
Yeah.
We don't have that. I will say it in a spiritual way, then I'll give it out. It goes like this.
Yes.
In the days of evolution, which is end of days, and when I say end of days, it does not mean the world is ending. It's the end of some era, so a new one can take form. And it doesn't mean that when bad things are happening or negativity is happening, it means that something is going to happen bad.
Yeah.
It's actually paving way for others to come, right? But what we are seeing happening right now is knowledge, is gone. She's going to take a break. Wisdom. And love will go away. That's why you see people will throw themselves, young generation throw themselves at anyone of themselves without no attachment of emotions that are true. And so it's their music also. The music drives all of these.
Absolutely.
So in my way, I think it is happening so that those who are truly chosen to do that work can become stronger if they are listening to what I'm saying. So, and if you're not yet there and you know what I'm talking about and you don't want to do it, just enjoy the ride. Watch for yourself and you'll see changes. What do you say?
Amazing. Shafi.
Yeah, I feel a lot, especially for Mandela, when he puts a lot of passion in his work, in his music, and what really is the problem is such kind of music is not really put into the world to be able to to be vocalized kabisa enough, because others have their self-interest on this is what is selling, this is what we're pushing.
It's trending.
Yeah, it's the same way with film and storytelling. Guys at some point from all the way to 2001, Nudity was selling, and that's the direction of what. So we were losing focus, we were losing track, we were losing our own culture, our own identity, and this is also part of the core problems that we also have in the music industry and even in governing music itself. You see, right now there will be like a show at KICC. The government is holding it, something about peace, and they remember, Mandela has some very nice pieces on peace, but he will only be called on that time to make merry and for people to listen to this music. But it will only be at that time when they support him or when they call him for that show. But it will just be a gig like any other gig that will be called somewhere in a hotel or some corporate office to do a gig. There's not much focus that is put on really what do we want? What kind of generation do we want to build as a country? I mean, the government, this is like really to the government. If they want to actually build a nation with people who have sober minds, who are listening to music that is building a nation more than having a country where, you see, this kind of music that we're listening to is the ones that are creating these hard people in the houses.
Yes.
What we talk high school, hey, these kids, you cannot even talk to them. Their language, I feel so old already. Their language is totally different. The kinds of music they listen to is totally different. It will be awkward to be in the same room with them and listen to what they're singing and dancing, which of course it's their own generation. We can't do much, but really how we fine tune it is. My brother always told me when I was growing up, you only need to plant a seed for that seed to be able to grow into a manifestation of whatever you want it to grow to. So if we start having this kind of conversations on really what is the core values of what we listen to and how we govern these kinds of music. And now, not only do we talk about it, but we also, how they're pushing secular music into our media and how they're pushing these kinds of reggaeton into our kids' ears and the society.
At a very young age.
We also need to push these kinds of music.
Absolutely.
So that because if you don't, then we also are part of the problem.
So what I would like to urge the government and the governance, the board, the secretariat, the attorney of the board, is that it is good to include all youths under one umbrella. It's good to include health. It's good to do a creative economy assessment, see who can be evaluated for what, and to see a rate card formed under structures so that we know who to appoint, because we do give people who don't even match IP portfolios award, and yet we are leaving someone who is very, very, very mature in music. We're leaving them with nothing because of friendship. You think when you're on the table, it is a gift to be rich. No, it is a responsibility, and being responsible doesn't mean you are accountable. So we need to see on how the government can bring the governance down to inclusivity and include all youths with potential into the table and see the real change happen.
With potential is the key word.
Ati what, kuna mtu mzalendo anapenda nchi yake, anapenda rafiki zake na watoto wa jirani zake, tena hapendi balaa, anaishi kwa jasho yake na hawezi lala njaa, ana marafiki zaidi ya ndugu zake, sio lazima brother Shami, sio lazima sister Tracy, you know what I'm saying, sio lazima. Oh, Dovizia know me when I say sio lazima tugombane, ndio mambo yawe sawa, sio lazima tupigane, ndio eti tuwe sawa, sio lazima useme oh, ndio eti usikike, sio lazima